Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network.
Good morning. If you've got something to say, you can say it to my face.
Yeah. Well, I have for 20 years, so there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not quite as tough as the vice president, so
I
know it's natural to laugh when I say something
as
like
a
that.
former political strategist, did someone on his team tell him to do that? Someone to whom we need to send a fruit basket? Okay. Was there any political strategy? What was he doing? He already has his racist base. Right. So if he just wanted to, as I said, stick it to the N-words, he certainly can't think he must have lost black votes if he had many, right?
Well, we did see, the vice president has really cleaned up in terms of the polling with African-American voters. But I think you're right. There was this comment about how brave he was and whatever, from the Fox News hosts for going there. And
sure.
It's only on Fox News, only in the Trump orbit would they consider it.
Is he wearing another Kotex on his ear just to prove how brave he was in that battle yesterday?
Just to prove it, he talked to a room full of African-American journalists.
I have a Kotex on my ear from where Rachel Scott asked such a rude question. Inches away. Sorry, Carl, go ahead.
Absolutely nuts. Every minute there was something new.
But you're right. This is, you said what Harris Faulkner said, and even yesterday. I swear to God, they just have to think, how do we do cleanup on aisle 45 again? Because yesterday she reacted like a human, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But then, this morning, she's back to oh, poor Donald, right?
Yeah, he walked into the racial storm. He weathered it.
He created a racial storm. He knew exactly what he was doing. He didn't walk into a racial storm. They asked perfectly appropriate.
I think if you call the weather service, if you call the National Weather Service, racial storm is named Donald this year.
I fixed it with a Sharpie. Yeah, this is, I'm sorry. This is, this was Brian Kilmeade. He walked into an extremely, I think I need a tinier violin. Sorry, this one isn't small enough. This one's too. He walked into an extremely hostile environment. She asked the 5 questions that I guess angered her the most about him all at once without even saying hello. It ticked him off, and he's a human being. Should we be lucky he even performs for us?
Yes.
Should we leave Donald alone?
She asked him 5 questions.
She quoted him 5 things that he said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to start. This was, the Harris Faulkner was. First of all, I love this because wasn't it just Biden's too old to be president?
Yeah.
Old, has to get out. Oh, he got out. Oh, crap. So, did you see this? Trump was asked about his, age and mental decline, and he said, I know many people in their 80s and 90s that are in great shape. Some of our greatest leaders, you look throughout the world history, the greatest leaders were in their 80s. Suddenly it's cool now. Yeah.
Old people rock.
She said, but here's the question. Would you consider stepping down if you felt your health was declining? Trump, oh, absolutely. I think I'd know. Sure. She said, how would you make that decision? He said, I think I'd know. Look, if I came onto a stage like this and I got treated so rudely as this woman treated me. And that's when Harris Faulkner said, oh, my goodness. Because they weren't being rude. Right. They were really being, I thought, unbelievably professional and calm under the circumstances, Anyway, she said that I'm fine with it because she was very rude. Very rude. That was nasty. That wasn't even a question. Oh, my God. He just cannot abide being challenged by a black person.
Well, I don't even think it's about being challenged.
Or a woman.
A question that isn't, hey, how great are you? I think anything up over that.
Chris said that. He's used to going on Fox News. That's all he's used to.
And Real America's Voice and all of those, softball networks.
Yeah.
He's not used to getting real questions.
Yeah.
No, he's used to playing with a wiffle ball. Mm-hmm. And this is why he doesn't do these types of interviews at all, ever. Remember the last one? I think it was 60 Minutes, and he left the interview.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So we always talk about alpha liberals and, the whole when they go low, blah, blah, blah. We never ascribe to when they go low, we go high. We always go down to the basement.
Yeah, not on this show.
And then try to find something.
I like that you say you go down to the basement as if you weren't already there.
Yeah, well,
if there was a place we could go lower, we would.
Yeah, she's going to be bringing in shovels very soon.
But good God above threaded. The reason to call fascists weird is because it takes away their power. They get off on being people being frightened of them. When you call them weird, they melt like that weirdo at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. We are making them into melting Nazis with calling them weird.
Speaking of J.D. Vance, what was remarkable about the line of questioning yesterday for Trump was that, the mental decline questions leads to, could J.D. Vance be president? Mm-hmm. And he couldn't say yes.
No, he couldn't.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Wait, do we have that one?
That?
Yeah,
6.
hang on. Let's take a listen. Thanks, Carl. Here we go.
J.D. Vance, is he ready on day one?
Does he what?
Ready on day one.
What now?
If he has to be.
I've always had great respect for him.
Oh?
Really?
And for the other candidates, too. But I will say this, and I think this is well documented. Historically, the vice president, in terms of the election, does not have any impact.
Sarah Palin would like a
So
word.
the answer is no. He clearly is a
Sarah
disastrous
Palin
choice.
proved that to be wrong.
So he couldn't say yes, J.D. Vance is prepared to be president. I guess, even a broken racist clock is right at least once a day.
And it's always white o'clock. Someone named Chris LeBoy threaded about this whole just strategy that we always talk to you about, Carl. You said, I love how we've gone from when they go low, we go high to F these weirdos. And Jen Kirkman said, finally, I've been effing waiting. I never consented to going high. But this is, isn't the Harris campaign so far is just chef's kiss, isn't it? They're doing it. They are alpha liberaling, but they're doing it with class and style and humor. But they're just throwing, as I keep saying, like a haymaker after haymaker at him, right?
What's interesting is when you talk to grassroots Democratic volunteers and whatnot, what you hear is the same kind of excitement that they felt during the Obama campaign.
Yeah.
I've seen evidence, right? I was talking to one of our congressional candidates yesterday, and they were telling us that, a couple weeks ago, they had 10 people doing phone banking, and now they need more space. They've got more than 50 that are volunteering on a regular basis. Our Canvas launches are being filled with people that weren't showing up before. So it's not only that, every turn that the Harris campaign has taken thus far has been just perfect. It's also that the Democratic base and the volunteers who drive this party have come alive again.
Yeah.
What this feels like to me? It has the feel of you're in the movie theater. Every movie where the bully ever finally gets punched in the nose. Mm-hmm. That's what the feeling is. Like what sort of Chris alluded to too. Is just that this whole when they go low, we go high. You cannot run like that against Donald Trump.
Right.
And the Kamala Harris campaign is just a masterclass in how to do it, and also the media. I love Rude Pundit said, I don't think corporate media has gotten its head around the vibe shift that's happened since Harris became the Democratic nominee. We're seeing a rebellion against everything that's supposed to harm Harris because so many of us are done with that bull. We're not going to go high anymore. F that. We're diving into the gutter at last and taking the fight to them. And this is the whole prosecutor versus felon thing we've been waiting for, is how you prosecute the case against an actual felon and rapist.
Only Democrats would think that this is being in the gutter, by the way.
Right.
That holding somebody accountable and pointing out when they're wrong would be in the gutter instead of just a baseline. One of the things that
Thank you, Carl. I was just going to say quickly, to your point, yes, calling her garbage and low IQ and a bum, that's name calling. Mm-hmm. Her calling him a felon and
it's true.
Adjudicated sexual assaulter are facts. They're not name calling, right? That's the difference.
And on top of that, I feel like, all of these years that we've now been observing Trump as a political figure, and it took this long for the governor of Minnesota to help us all see that one word describes it all, how we've all felt all these years. And not just us, even some of the people that supported Trump in 2016, in 2020. He's weird. J.D. Vance is just as weird.
Yeah.
If your entire political persona is built around abandoning your core convictions to emulate somebody as weird as Donald Trump, you're weird.
Yes. Lincoln Project. I was thinking, your whole. Well, first of all, the Carl Frisch campaign is a template for what the Kamala Harris campaign is doing. You raised $11 billion. You won by 11 billion points. But, it's really grassroots, like the number of donations that have come from just regular people, right? This is what you can tell is driving Trump crazy. This is obviously a people-powered, and it's not just a moment. It's obviously a movement. And I'm sure he can feel it. Lincoln Project said Trump's campaign is all about fear and distrust of your neighbor. America is at its core about optimism, and so is the Harris campaign. I mean, we can't say it enough. It's joyful. You can't even explain it. Like, you're right. If you were too young to remember the Obama campaign, but it's joyful. It's fun. It's funny. It's optimistic. It's hard to even bottle that, isn't it?
I was saying, and then the Trump campaign, they have so abused their email list and their text list of small dollar donors that people stopped giving.
Yeah.
Because, he had to pay those legal bills. And so he kept milking them for all they could, get out of them, not to mention automatically subscribing them to monthly donations without their, that they were doing it. So, he's burned through many of the people that could have supported his campaign. And the Harris campaign is just getting started.
And don't you just feel it, in politics, Carl, before you even see it? I mean, we are seeing it in polling, but just people are just tired of his bull. I mean, look at yesterday, just these old, tired, recycled insults and racism and misogyny and hatefulness and divisiveness. I think the Trump show, it does have the feeling of just a horrible show coming to an end finally, right?
Yeah, this is a soundtrack that doesn't.
He's literally jumped the shark, and he hates sharks.
Yes.
And the shark is J.D. Vance, actually.
Exactly. Carl, we love you. I'll see you next week.